What's up, guys? Just a quick update here. It's too bad it didn't really work out to get a video of me doing it, but we had this engine hoist here from a friend, and I ended up pulling it last night on a Thursday, which was pretty awesome because I had enough time after school. Took me about 2 days, had to get all the wiring off it, all the hoses. They're all crap. The consensus now is that we're just gonna get a new engine. The one end, there's no way it was gonna crank over. It's a turd. It's built like a turd from the factory, so we're just leaving it on the floor over there for now. I'm gonna keep the original 3-speed and try to see if I can get like an adapter plate or something made so that I can bolt up just an old 4-cylinder to it. I need something carbureted though, because I don't want to mess with CPU and whatnot. I got a jack stand on there because the cross member is kind of far back on the tranny, so it wanted to kind of fall. So I just got a jack stand sitting there so it'll hold the input shaft. All the wiring was actually really simple. Getting it all off of here was easy. And then I basically just slipped it all out. The torque converter is on the flywheel on the engine right now. I cleaned the interior just a minute ago, and I think pretty soon we're just gonna have to figure out something that'll make the least amount of power, because we can't blow up the rear end and still sit in here. It's not very exciting, but I'm hoping that it's something reliable and you can just drop it in there. I actually had to take the whole subframe out to get the engine ready to pull because the sump would have fouled on it pulling it forward, so I had to get that whole subframe out, pull the sump off, put the subframe back on so I could drop it down and then pull the engine out. So it was a little crazy, but totally worth it because that was out with the old. Hopefully soon it's going to be in with the new. So there you have it. What's up, guys? I know it's been a long time since we made a video here, but I'm really stoked on just being able to work on the Vega now. I haven't had much time at all to do too much to it just because of extracurriculars, sports, high school. So basically, you guys come over here. The consensus now is that this engine, is built like a turd, aluminum block. If they had just used cast iron, it might have been great, but still locked up. I tried PV Blaster, I tried diesel. I was gonna try brake fluid, but I just don't know if it's worth it. This thing is just so locked up, it's crazy. I bought a battery for it, and the wiring in this thing's actually really good. The heater comes on, which is right there, that little motor. Windshield wipers work, the lights work, the high beams work, hazards work, which are right here. I think this one needs a new bulb for just the regular driving lights, but the high beam on it works, so that's awesome. And what else was I gonna say? There's power going to the starter, which is really cool, because obviously I'd try to crank it, but I'd probably tear the gear off because it's just so locked up. But probably wondering why there's a gas tank sitting right there. Basically, I had to buy a Jeep gas tank for this thing. This thing's out of a CJ5. It's came with the sending unit, locking nut, everything. I had to make a new inlet. Basically, this is where it was before. I just plated that up. I had a little metal washer that I welded there. This is basically where the gas is gonna come in now. It had two breathers right here. These are just I don't know if you can see them, they're just nipples there, so I just welded those up. And basically this wasn't quite thick enough for the hose that I have coming into it, so I took a piece of sheet metal, bent it around there, and then welded it so that it's basically as thick as this flange right here, so that the hose will tighten over that and it won't have any leaks, which would be awesome. I didn't paint all of it black because I don't have much black paint. I just painted the parts that could potentially rust. So that's what's going on here. It's up in the air. Oh, shit. These are my spacers for the gas tank that I made. We're gonna keep the original cap, which is really cool, body color. Basically, again, welds aren't great. Cut was ugly because I don't have access to awesome tools. I had to sawzall this thing off, and obviously blade was walking everywhere on me. But basically just cut a gaping hole in this thing, and the tank mounts up in here. The reason I cut the hole is because it still kind of comes up through
it sits a little bit higher than where the floor would have been, but it's low enough that this pipe where it comes out of the filler basically comes in, and it'll actually point down so that, you know, the gas won't have any backflow, and that would be terrible. So that's what's going on. I'm just gonna actually put the tank in right now. So life is good. Back at it. So we just got the tank in. Obviously, I said half the fuel system done because I still got to run. I'm gonna go rubber line so they never have to worry about them rusting. Just all the way to the front. Basically, got the sender on it. I'm gonna have to figure out the wiring. The plug that mounted to the sender for the old gas tank is still intact. The wires look pretty good. So probably just have to mess with that until it makes the fuel gauge move, which right now it's stuck at full. So I'm sure that like when you actually turn the car on, it'll, you know, start moving. Basically, it looks bad out here, but it's okay because where the hose clamp is where I welded that strip of metal. So this is a nice seal here. I can feel it. And so that's coming in through there. If you guys come over here, it's sitting out a little far, and I'll show you why. Basically, I used bolts, Allen bolts instead, and then got the nuts on from the inside. That's why I think why it's sitting out, and also I think this used to actually be on the inside. But I'm not really worried about body lines, obviously. So I'm just gonna kind of leave it where it's at. I know some people might think that's infuriating that it's not lined up, but honestly, I'm okay with it. I had to make a sleeve that attached to the original filler, and it goes down a size and a half to the big hose here that goes straight through the body, through this body panel, and then down to the tank. And that's half the fuel system done. I'm gonna drop this thing down back to the floor and just see how it looks when the car's actually sitting. So yeah. Hey guys, just finishing up putting the gas tank in. This is the fun part, getting the filler cap back on the body. Just tightening it down now. I lost the screws, so we're gonna bolt it instead. Probably better, just because then we know it's not gonna be sliding out when the metal starts to get a little rotted. So that's what I'm doing right now. And we're gonna tighten that hose clamp down, and that's half the fuel system done. So that's pretty exciting. All right, guys, just want to say thanks for watching the video. Stuff has been a little bit spaced out recently just because of schedules and whatnot. So it's kind of hard to like keep videos coming as I'm actually doing stuff. So old engine's out. Hopefully gonna put a new one in there. And we're actually thinking V8 swap because it might even be cheaper than putting a 4-cylinder in it and then just don't gun it. But obviously that's gonna be really tough for me because I'm a lead foot. So I guess we'll see just kind of what is the cheapest option, but I'm definitely considering putting the 350 in there, and we'll see how that goes. So keep you guys updated, and thanks again for watching.